Let's talk about yesterday's trades because I didn't have a time yesterday to create the live because the electricity went down and I couldn't keep making the live. So let's actually talk about those, and then we'll talk about today's signals as well that we took. Yeah, all right, yeah, that's it. Okay, so we have yourself. Okay, yeah, let's give me a one when you see the share screens. Okay.
I'll let you know when to. I'm right here.
All right, all right. Okay, so
Oh yeah, fast sex. Show me that sexy face. How you doing, baby? All right, you're sharing now, Alden.
all right, nice. Okay, let's start from USDCHF. Now this trade, this trade I was really hoping that it goes to the upside because like I've been analyzing this pair for a while now, and like it seems that it wasn't going my way. Like even from back in June 30th, I've been analyzing this like it was at level 1 right here, level 2, level 3, and I was expecting a reversal to at least level 1, but we did get taken out. I mean, we did get take profit 2 right here, and then reverse that take profit 2 at a level 2 right here. So right now it's like it should have kept going to the upside, but what happened here is possibly banks are creating more liquidity to the downside before they push up. I mean, like there wasn't as much as liquidity forming at these levels. As you can see, there's not that much. Like this is for me, this is a perfect liquidity. Look, give me a second, let me find, all right here, this is a perfect liquidity build up, right? And like there's nothing that I can see that was a very good liquidity build up. And what I think what happened here is that banks didn't capture enough contracts, or let's say didn't capture enough liquidity, and they didn't keep going to the upside. Now what I'm waiting for, this is I'm still waiting for buys on here. Maybe I'm gonna wait for something like let's see, give me a second. All right, I'm waiting for something like this possibly to form, and then a reversal to the upside to possibly this level. Now we did get taken out unfortunately on this one for a 1% loss, and I mean it's really not that bad because if you have followed my trades this month, uh we've already been up 21%. So like from this trade we only lost 1%, so we're just at 20% in profit, which is still an amazing profit amount, because as you may know, like I only aim for 10% a month, and we're already above that. So now let's talk about NZD CAD, all right, NZD Canadian dollar. So at this trade we took today, what happened here is a same scenario. Like it was moving really nicely, almost at take profit 1 after we entered the trade. Some liquidity, actually, liquidity. Sorry. Momentum reversed, not liquidity. Sorry. Momentum reversed to the upside before it keeps pushing to the downside, and as you can see, huge momentum to the downside started to push in the market after that. So like right now, I think we should see more sells happening, but I'm gonna wait for tomorrow and see what happens for tomorrow for this trade, because right now I don't like trading at this moment. Since at this moment there's not much liquidity, as you can see, like the market's barely moving. Um, but even today, like today, it was very slow. The market was very slow, and like it wasn't that active. I didn't check the news. That was like a bad thing I didn't do today. Actually, this week I didn't check the news for this week. That's a major thing I did bad today, because I didn't like check if there's any bank holidays or anything, and possibly that's what happened. There's some kind of holidays, probably. I'm not sure, but like the market's been really slow today, so I don't know what's going on. So NZD CAD, it was another loss, for unfortunately, for a 1% loss, only a 12 pip as well. It wasn't a huge loss. So 1%, we're back at 19% of profit for this month. Now we're just hoping that AJ and EU just takes off, right? So AJ, let's go on AJ actually. Uh, AJ, I've been following this trade like for like I think last month. Let's see, from from March. Yeah, yeah. It's been like 2 months, three for sure. So I've been following uh AJ, sorry, AJ from like March. I was like at level one right here, and then I saw this level two, and then I saw this level three and high peak formation. After this high peak, I did see a level one. I think we did enter a reversal right here to the downside, but I think we got taken up from here as well. But right now, today, it's still open. We have a really decent RR for a 42% reward. Now, this is a huge, now this is a long term. Okay, this would possibly take 2 months to hit uh, the fourth or actually the fifth take profit. So probably take 2 months if it goes our way, which I'm hoping it does because it's been consolidating in this area above here. Like it's not going above it. It is, you can see it's like it's barely pushed above it right here and just reversed back down. So I was looking for buys here as well, as you can see, but we did that taken out exactly. Um, but guys, like this trade, if we get this trade, we have a 42% in 2 months. So that's like 20% each month. So that's already in just one trade, we have 20% each month, all right? Because this will take for sure about 2 months to hit take profit five if it does go our way. So this is a really, really huge trade. And, that's what I like to do. I like to have small, when I'm trading long term, when I find these opportunities, I like to keep my stop loss small for a big, huge profit ratio. Okay, and 42% would just push us to the roof, right? It's just gonna give us a huge, huge amount of profit, and we can just not trade and leave these two trades running this whole 2 months if it goes our way. Now I'm not gonna do that obviously because I love trading and I do it every day. So yeah, obviously it's not gonna happen, but we're always gonna trade. So yeah, it's still running, it's still in profit at the moment. But as I said, it's a bit slow. Like today, we entered at around 1 p.m. Actually no 1 a.m. This, yeah, 1 a.m. for you guys. This is 1 a.m. for Eastern time, for New York, and like it's been like I'm not consolidating. It's been like moving really slowly to the downside. Retested on this trend line right here, but I'm really expecting more downsides to happen in this. For possibly tomorrow, it will hit take profit one, because that's what I'm aiming for. At least tomorrow, if it does hit take profit one, we should keep seeing it moving to the downside till at least take profit four, or yeah, till take profit four at least. Yeah, I'm like take profit five will be like my last resort. Like possibly, if it hits take profit four, my stop loss will be somewhere around these areas right here, and I will move it right here because possibly if it doesn't go here, it's gonna reverse back up after level after take profit four. So that's AJ. It's still in profit. It's still running. So that's good for us, right? Now EU. All right. Now this is the frustration. This is what I've been looking at. Like I've been looking at EU for a while as well. Like this got me so like thinking a lot. And like after June, right? After June, when June started, I saw this formation forming right here. Then level one, level, actually this was just a retest right here, and then back to level one. So what happened here is it wasn't a high peak formation, went back to a level one to the downside, retested to the upside, right, retested like a trend retest, goes back down to the level one, and now it's in level two, three, and the high peak formation. So high peak formation, and right now what it's doing, this looks like consolidating a lot. I mean, I don't know why it's consolidating. Probably there's some news or something like that's holding this, but if you can see, there's like some kind of triangle pattern. So there's definitely uncertainty in the market as well. Uncertainty that they don't know where to push the market. Like I really, really don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow on this one, because like there's too much uncertainty, and it's been consolidating from this morning, like from 1 a.m. Yeah, because we entered around 1 a.m. or yeah, actually 2 a.m. something like that, and it's been consolidating since it never hit our stop loss, so that's a good thing for us. But I have good sell bias on this trade. You know, EU needs to go down. It has to go down. I mean, it shouldn't keep going up. You know, it's been going up for a long time. They captured enough liquidity for sure. And in my opinion, they should start reversing to capture the liquidity as still sitting down here. You know, there's still money sitting at these levels, guys. So to be honest, I think it's gonna keep going down. Maybe tomorrow hitting take profit one, possibly half till take profit two right here, somewhere around here, and we'll see about that. So those are the trades we took. I did take a EU trade yesterday as well. I think it was a loss as well. So it was still a down move. I don't remember. I think it was somewhere on these levels. Actually, no. I don't remember where I entered yesterday's trade. Actually, let me check just to be sure. Right here, EU. Yeah, right here, sell 117.020, 117.020, 117.017. Okay. So we entered somewhere here. Yeah, all right. So we did enter here. I did see this M formation right here. Yeah, that's why I entered. Yeah, I remember now. I did see this M formation right here. I entered around this level, somewhere on these levels, and unfortunately, momentum started picking up the upside and formed this beautiful M formation right here. Really big M formation, and if I was up at like 3 or 2 a.m. for me, I would possibly got this trade from here, but yeah, I missed that. So then, like at morning, I saw this really nice M formation. So it should keep going to downside. And right now, what was it doing? This is not actually high peak. Like this is the only high peak right now, because this was going to be the high peak. But right now, this is the high peak, and this would be level one to the downside. So level one, liquidity buildup to the downside, right? This is level one, and we should see this move to at least for 10% of profit for till down here. If not, we're gonna take profit at the take profit two, stop loss, bring it out till possibly at these levels right here, and then we'll see how it goes after that, right? So that's it for EU. I mean, actually, for today's trades, that's what we took. And yeah, that's it. I don't know if Troy or Winston wants to go through their trades. If you have any questions about my trades, leave it in the comments or in the chat section, and I'll go through it and I'll answer you guys.
Oh yeah. We'll just give everyone a minute or so just to get any questions in. If it's not even related to what Alden just went over, if it's a simple question, if it's something that you're new, you want to know literally anything. This is for you guys. This doesn't have to do with just Alden's trades. It doesn't have to do with just our trades. It could really cover anything. We just want to cover these things so you guys know where we are in our thought process. So in a second, I will share my screen, give you guys a couple more seconds to just think about some trades or just think about some questions, and we'll go from there. Right now, I'm just kind of getting set up. I'm going through all the charts that I had, going through the chat, going through some messages, and that's really it. So let me share my screen. Kale, let's see if I can unmute Kale. Kale, we're gonna unmute you if you possibly can, but just stay on mute, because I don't want the mics to get.
I'll
Excellent.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, yeah. Just go on mute for right now. I'm gonna talk for a second about really anything, and then we'll just hop back into what you're saying. Check EJ, check everything. Don't personally use fibs. All right, so let me share my screen. Share my screen. Excellent. Everyone can see? Someone double check, confirm with me.
Yeah, everything too.
Excellent. All right, so I'm just going to run through my watch list, a couple of the things that I sent last night. We'll start here. This was something that I sent this is actually a couple days old. This is the old AutoCAD trade that I had going. You'll realize if you were in this trade at all, I know so you guys see me and Chris bicker back and forth all the time. Chris is a friend of mine. Don't think that we're actually arguing. I had the stop set wrong. obviously it's a learning lesson. I had the stop set not big enough. I had this trend line drawn from, I don't even know, it's an old trend line all the way back to what, July or June 19th. I've had this line drawn, and I knew where it should have bounced off of, which is exactly where it bounced off of. But I had to stop up here. A mistake on my part. As you can see, the trade idea though, as far as continuously bouncing off of this trend line, that's what we look for. We look for 1, 2, 3. This was our third. This was basically a confirmation as to why this trade was going to work. And you can see we're about halfway through the trade. No one's in it. I'm watching it. It's purely for learning. I do this every night. I mark up things. I send them in the chat. I don't really get into a lot of them. It's just because I'm still new. You know, I'm still trying things out. Alden's working things out on his end. We're all doing things. So it's up to you if you want to get in. It's also for you. You guys got to do your DD on these trades as well. This is AJ. Hey, he just went over that. Really, I'm only going to go with the ones that I have marked. So this is one that I'd also like, AU. Just because of where it bounced off. I know Alden just said he doesn't use the fibs. I use fibs somewhat religiously because I come from options trading, so they're really useful there. Hoping at one point to get a nice bounce somewhere around here, a little more, going up to what, 0.8, 718, and then right back down, testing the 0.618 level, because that's a big level you'll learn if you don't know about fibs. We should see it retrace back down here before any other kind of movement. That's one thing that I'm looking at, AU. BC is another one. Actually, this is a trade from last night, so if anyone was in the chart or in the chat last night, you'll see that I was looking at this, I marked it up, and it worked out, I mean, quite literally perfectly. Not most trades don't work out like this, but caught that huge jump up. I didn't think it was going to stay. I marked it. I had a nice stop, almost touched our stop, right back down. And I'm playing this. The reason I had it marked out here is because I'm playing this line right here. This is an EMA. This is the 200, I want to say. Yeah, 200. If you don't know what an EMA is, ask me in the chat. We'll talk about it. This is an EMA. I'm playing the bounce off of this EMA. It's why we exited here. It's why we had our take profit set there. Another one that this is one that I'm actively watching, just like OddCAD. This is one that I'm waiting to see confirmation on, because this is another trend line that I have drawn out. 1, 2, we get a third touch. It's almost, I mean, we have our stop set, but it's almost probable that this trade will work out. We have a nice resistance here from back in the day. It's way back. I'm not going to go back and show you. But this is the only thing that I'd watch. I'd like to see it bounce right here off of this level. So an entry around, what's that? 905. So this is 5.5. We want to see 5 more pips down, an entry, and then boom, to the moon. Something that we're watching. Mark it up in your chart if you want. EJ, something I marked up last night. Actually, this is Troy's trade. So this is Troy's trade. We were talking about it in the chat before. Me and Chris were talking about it. Love the banter. But he entered a little, I didn't enter anything. This is just something I drew up. But he entered around 0.4, so he entered around here. And we were talking about it before. This is an old line. If you see these lines, they're old lines. Came back up, and it kind of bounced off of it perfectly. That's why I still have confidence in this trade. I have another trend line drawn right here. I hope it doesn't bounce off. I hope it just crushes it, breaks straight through for mine and Troy's sake and yours. But this is also something to look at. These lines are some, and like I said, I mean, I know there's beginners to people who are like Kale. Kale is here for, I mean, just additional information. He's got a basic understanding of what's going on. So if you have a question as to why I drew this line like this, shoot it in the chat. I'll answer it, or shoot me a private message down to EN. I don't have anything here. This is just, if it's red, something I watch all the time. Orange is something I'm constantly watching. This is another one, USD CAD, another one I'm watching because we had, if you go to the 4-hour, you'll see this perfect channel. We were messing with it for a while, going in, up and down, nice balance through the channel. We broke out, but we bounced right off the EMA, which is perfect. It's just more confidence on my end. So I'm looking for another bounce off right here, coming all the way up to, I mean, we can mark it here if you want. So what? We'll just move it down to 0.9. 0.9, looking for somewhat of a charge up here, and then another straight down. Something that we're watching, mark it up in your chart. We'll talk about it later if you'd like. Another one, UJ. This is one we were talking about last night. The US dollar is horribly weak. It's bound for somewhat of a bounce back, but I just don't think it's going to happen yet. I don't think it's going to happen until we have better news on COVID. So this is something we drew up last night, and you can see that have it going for a while. I hate how the lines get messed up here. Another one. We're going to see if we can use this previous support as another resistance. So right here, I'm going to go out and back in. We're going to see if we can get a nice bounce there. Another thing that we're looking at. Let me hop in the chat for real quick. I want to see what everyone's talking about. People asking questions maybe. Go to the chat. Can't go to the chat. All right. I'll go to the chat later. GA, it's another one just like the red one that I watch all the time. It's one that I feel I have a good understanding on.
They want to hear about the EMA.
They want to hear about the EMA. Okay, sorry, I can't see the chat, guys. So thank you, Troy. EMA is it's a moving average. So we'll just go. Where was another one? Perfect. So OddCAD, the one that I was looking at. And EMA is it's called exponential moving average, and it just kind of draws out lines as to the trend of what's going on. So it obviously since April, the Canadian dollar has been weaker in comparison to the Australian dollar. So the moving average is obviously going upwards. That's all that does. You can do it a bunch of different ways. You could do a 200. I use TradingView if anyone doesn't know what I'm on. 200. Another popular one is 20. It's more for kind of scalp traders. And you can see it's still moving up, moving up. It's just it's literally called a moving average. And you could just put it in. It's an indicator. It's called EMA, exponential moving average. And it's another thing to consider when you're looking at trades, when you're looking at a possible movement, anything like that.
Do you want to explain the strategy behind it, or do you want me to briefly talk about it?
You go for it. Go for it.
So just like briefly, I'm not even going to need to share my screen here. As you see right now, the trade is above the EMA, which means it's a strong high for the OddCAD. So when it goes below the EMA, that's when it's time to hit a sell. When it goes above, that's when it's time to hit a buy. That's the brief strategy behind moving averages in general.
So to show what he was just talking about, I have a chart somewhere down here. So this is perfect. This is actually exactly it. This was a trade I put in last night, and I wanted it to bounce off of the EMA. I wanted it to go up just like it did right over here, right here. And I mean, kind of right here too. I wanted it to bounce off and come back down. That's why we had this trade go in, but obviously it didn't. So now it's a stronger buy. So now we're looking to buy this pair. I'll edit the chart and I'll send it later. But it has now moved from a sell to a buy. I don't know what's going on with the New Zealand dollar. I know the pound isn't too strong looking up into the future because of all the stuff going on with Brexit. But that's like Troy said, the basic strategy behind it. If it's above, it's a buy. If it's below, like it looked like it was, I tried to play a sell. Not every trade works out. Where was I? I think I was here. Second red one. This is the same exact idea too. So I'm looking for the same thing. I'm looking for it to come up, approach the EMA. It's okay if it breaks through it a little bit. And you'll notice that. See, like we're kind of doing it, and it's different for every chart. So it adjusts every chart because every chart is different, 1 hour, 4 hour. It's okay to break above a little bit because that's where like a stop loss comes in. You know, you might get psyched out and then it will come right back down. But that's the basic strategy, the basic idea of what I have going on for this one right now. GA, I'd like to see the Australian dollar really grow in strength, possibly get us what we'll call it here. That's a big trade. It's a 300 pip trade. I mean, it's an unrealistic expectation for a trade, but that's the idea behind it. So we'll keep moving down the list. GC. I don't have anything going for GC. This is the one we just looked at, GU. So this is another line I'd like to just draw out, and we'll see. I mean, right now, I'm not going to mess with this pair at all. It's obviously a good buy. I'd like to see it come back down. Maybe retest this line somewhere over here. It's got to work out. Every trade takes time. So, I mean, it'll take time to go out. Maybe we'll have to wait all the way to August. I don't know. But I'd like to see this come back down, test my line, and if it bounces for a third, I'd like to enter a buy. We're above the EMA. if we bounce off the trend line, you know, it just, if it all adds up, then you got to go. This was, so I want to show you guys, for anyone who wasn't watching last night too, this was insane. Not only did I chart it well, which is very rare, but gold was just insane last night. You saw us all freaking out. Me and Kale were freaking out about it last night. We were making 1,100 pips at a time. And someone asked in the chat earlier, how do pips work with gold? This is 1 pip. 1 pip. If it moves up, that's 1. So, I mean, it moves unbelievably quick. And last night we went from, my entry was 1940. So this is the movement we were looking at last night. We entered at 1940. And at the top, that was 4,000 pips. And I was in and out of it, so it wasn't 4,000 pips flat. It was more like 2,500 pips. It was unbelievable. My best trading day by far. So that's it. So let me see if I can hop into the chat, see if I have any questions.
I'm gonna do something for Alex right now. He's like, can anybody
Yeah, definitely.
trade? So Alex, to answer your question, right now I'm signaled in EJ, which I won't have all of my indicators up on my computer because MetaTrader 4 is on the phone. I'm just gonna share the screen with you through Forex.com, which has a web trading page, so that I can actually share the screen and you can see like what we would look at when we're entering. So if you go to the Discord page, you go to the FX signals, you see I signal right in here, and we're entering EJ starting at 123.4. So that's sort of like right, and I got shit all over my screen. I can't see anything. So that's like right around where the price is at right now. So obviously it's moved a good bit today, up and down. I think at one point we're up as much as 25 pips looking at the 5-minute chart. So it's definitely consolidated back down to our entry level based off of like where we were at earlier today. But if you wanted to go into the trade, you would just literally hit buy. And it depends what you trade with, but this is where people are going to get confused. The minimum 1,000 lot size, that's 0.01. That's a lot size called a nano lot, which is a tenth of a lot. People who trade the standard lot, like myself or Alden, will trade 100,000. This is not my main account, so I can't trade a full lot off a $387 account. I don't even use this Forex.com brokerage. I'm just purely showing you how you would enter the trade. I'm actually in this on a sell order, so I would put in my associated stop loss at what did I set it at? 123.89. And it'll break it down. This is what I actually do like about Forex.com is it'll tell you how much US dollars you're risking at the stop loss. So you would literally just go ahead and place the trade. There we go, we're in. So you see right there, it indicates that I just entered again at market level. I'm down 19 cents because of the spread, and I'm up $11 from my initial sell order. So that's kind of how it works when you enter a trade. Obviously, no one really uses this web trader Forex.com, even myself included, but I wanted to go over the basics, fundamentals of entering a trade since no one's going to be able to share their screen on MetaTrader. Let me make sure.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest hurdle there. So whoever, someone asked that, can you go through a trade? Alex, oh, that was Alex. Yeah, we just can't share our phone screen. That's that. I mean, most of us enter trades on our phones, so we can't really go through it. But someone asked about a book, Hedge Fund Market Wizards. It's purely for psychology purposes. It's really getting in the right mindset of how to enter a trade, why you're in a trade, everything like that. What's up, DQ? See your cute face. Can't even hear me, Kenny. No. All right. So that's a book for you. I've got a couple other books. They're not on the top of my head right now or tip of my tongue, so I can't really name them. And I'm not sharing my screen. What indicators you use? I came late. So I use basic indicators. I use the EMA. I use volume. Just about everyone should use volume. It's just a volume tells you what the market looks like right now. I use 2 EMAs. I use the 200 for long-term swing trades. I use the 9 EMA for scalp trades. and then these two. So this is the RSI. This just gives you a basic understanding. I'm not sharing my screen, am I?
Yeah, you got to share that.
My bad, guys. I just checked and saw that I'm not. Okay, now I'm sharing my screen, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So like I said, 200 EMA, use the big, this is the more flat one. It moves less drastically. 200 EMA, that's an indicator I use. I also use the 9. This is for the scalp trades. It just gives you a basic understanding of movement in a shorter term. And then these two are huge for me. These two are huge for options. So if you're in here for Forex and you also ever wanted to get into options, RSI just gives you, so these two lines are important to look at because as you can see, every time it breaks above this dotted line, it's almost bound to come back down, and vice versa. Every time it goes below this dotted line, it's almost bound to come back up. And the movement isn't always drastic. As you can see, the movement from here, it's really no change profit-wise. But this is something to consider. So like if we're all the way at the bottom of somewhere, so right here, perfect. We're all the way at the bottom, obviously dipped out. Maybe we could see a shoot back up this way. It's just, and this is the same exact idea here. So when these lines cross over, so when the blue line is below, and it's different colors for everyone. So I mean, when you get your chart up, make sure you're conscious of the different colors. For mine, it's blue and red. When the blue line is below, a sell is strong. And obviously it was. We crossed over, we came up, crossed over, sell, and that's why I sold. It's just another thing to consider. This is called the MACD, straight up MACD, straight up MACD, straight up RSI, not like RSI strategy, nothing like that, just RSI. It'll immediately attach it to your chart. If you're on TradingView, this is how, so you go to, where is it, add an indicator or something like that, this one right here, FX, indicators and strategies. Come on, nothing is letting me click right now, so that's where you want to go though, indicators and strategies. And then a list will come up. You can type in whatever you want. You can test out different things. These are the three that I use: volume, EMAs, RSI, and MACD. Like I said, I cannot see the chat. So if there are questions, someone please let me know. Kale, I think you're still here, and Troy's just multitasking right now. So Kale, if you want to work with me a little bit, if you see any questions in the chat, let me know. I don't know why I can't see them. Here we go.
All right. If you want to see the chat, I think if you go on the upside, there's like an option thing, and then like you should see chats and
yeah, I got it now. I had to open it a different way.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So what do we got? The stop loss. That's Troy. It shows good idea to enter a trade, a stop hunt. I'm not familiar with a stop hunt, so I can't answer that question. What about?
It depends on where you're going on the stop hunt, right? I can answer that question. It depends on where the market is going. If it's a stop hunt for the upside or the downside, depends on what the banks are trying to do, right? It depends on what traders are they trying to take out. So if you're in a stop hunt, right, and you say, okay, the market is going to go down, I mean, it's good to maybe consider it twice. Where's the stop hunt at? What liquidity are they trying to capture, and what amount of money are they trying to capture before you take the trade, right? And when you see that amount of money or liquidity that they're going to capture, you just enter the trade with them, right? You just enter the stop hunt with them, right? You're just going to take out the stops of other people's trades, basically.
I'm trying to send messages and I'm accidentally sending them to individual people. All right, Alex.
Surf fishing. Okay. I'm gonna answer this one as well.
Yeah.
There's sometimes there are, like, it depends on the market. There's a lot of stop hunts in gold. If you really wanna go in like golds, like if you can see, like today, gold just went up to the roof this morning and then just goes back down, and then now it's going back up. So it basically took both liquidity. So it basically stopped hunt both sides, right? So it got it. I mean, they took out buyers and sellers. okay? And now probably there's still buyers at the bottom of that wick right there, or possibly sellers selling because of huge momentum to the downside, and they're taking them out as well. So it depends. You need to be really skilled to just locate a decent amount of stop hunts and have a accurate not accurate take profit or accurate strategy to just say it's gonna go there and reverse, right? What I
Yep.
can say as well is price usually moves between weekly highs and weekly lows, sometimes also previous week lows and highs. Okay, so that's you can know about something like that as well.
To go off that, a lot of the time when when we're looking to get the retail traders out of the market, which is what sometimes like hedge funds and banks look to do, that'll happen outside of really like the big trading hours. Like you won't ever really see that happen in the US EU overlap, or you won't see that happen like in the main trading hours. You'll see that when there's downtime, such as like 5 p.m. EST, like that's when there's a big market movement to try and get people out of the market, and that's what's known as liquidity that Alden talks a lot about. So that was definitely a good question, and Alden handled it a lot better than I would have been able to. But just know that those usually come in the non-volatile hours of the trading day.
And also the steer fishing. If you want to learn more about like the strategy, like I trade basically a similar way of capturing liquidity but not stop hunts. It's basically the same scenario, but we're actually capturing liquidity that other traders are placing stop losses, and we're basically taking out their stop losses and taking their money, just playing the game with the banks basically. Now obviously there's no such thing as a strategy that will always work. Even if you're trading with the banks, you're just gonna lose sometimes. And I mean, like banks lose money as well. So if you think that you're better than a bank, or if you think that you're better than a hedge fund or something like that, just forget it, because everyone in this industry lose money. Okay, every single person, every bank, every whatever, every hedge fund, everything, everyone loses money, okay? And everyone has bad trades, and there's no such thing as a guy that trades 100% accurately with 100% win rate, okay? So yeah.
All right. So we're 43 minutes in. Alex, you and I are working out everything. Surf fishing, you've got everything. Anyone got any additional questions? Shoot them now or forever hold your peace, and let us know how we did. We're still new to all this Zoom stuff. If we're not addressing something that you guys wish we were addressing, if you'd like to hear more about something that we did address but didn't cover it very much, like indicators or strategies, can someone unmute Kale, please?
Done.
Kale, what's up?
Hey, so I sent it to the chat, but I think that the AUD trade you guys are in is really good because there's news coming up tonight. I don't think it's going to affect it as big as news typically does. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like crazy important news, but I think it is gonna push it down. And I think it's gonna encourage a lot of people to jump in for that sell just because of kind of the way it's sitting and consolidating right there. Also about books, I read the most important book that I've ever read. There's all these mindset books, there's everything, there's YouTube videos, everything. But the most beneficial book to me was I read one called The Candlestick Bible. And
Yeah.
it is
I've read that. It's very nice. Also, I recommend the what's it called? I really forgot this name. What's it called? The Way of the Turtle is a very nice way. Actually, a very nice book. I read it like three or 2 years ago. I'm not sure exactly when I read that. But it's a very nice book if you're just starting out and want to know more about price action and waiting, more of being more of a how you say, like a more of a patient trader in the market. All right.
Excellent. Kale, you were talking about the AJ trade, right? All JPY?
Yes.
Excellent. Where did we get in? We got in.
Yeah, we got in about 7.5 3H3.
3.8. So we're here. So yeah, right.
Yeah, we're in profits. Yeah.
Excellent.
Like my take profit on that is a really decent take profit for 7.75 and then actually 6.45 6.451 something like that, or 6.4 something like that.
6.4 point.
Yeah, it's a huge
Yeah, I
stuff.
can't even see that take profit. So
Yeah, it's a huge, yeah. I'm looking at long term. This should take this should possibly hit around like 2 months from now.
all right, cool.
How often do these long-term signals come in from you, Alden? Because this is the first one I've seen you call on a long.
Yeah. I mean, like when I see something that I like long term is something that I rarely do because I really like swings. But when I see like a really good opportunity for at least like a 40 or 50% reward, I'm gonna take it. You know, I'm just like I can't miss a 40 to 50% return, even though it's gonna take some time to just close it, right? I'm never gonna miss a 50% return or a 40, you know, for a few months, right?
No doubt. That's why I trade long term as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's, even if we don't hit the whole take profit, even if we hit like take profit 3 or 2, I mean on 4, like at take profit 4, I'm possibly gonna put stop loss like at possibly like at 6.8 something, 6.7 possibly, just because it might reverse at that level as well. But I'm still gonna hold it for sure because this is like, if it goes my way, we should see like decent profit in these 2 months.
For sure.
Awesome.
I'll be analyzing my long-term trades on August 1st. So when I do that, I will go live and show you guys what I'm looking at on the long-term frame. But I'm already like thinking that I'm going to stay in about 90% of the trades. There's 8 of them, so I'm probably not going to exit any early. But when I go live, I'll have a better idea of what I'm showing you guys.
Awesome. All right, everyone. So it appears that we have wrapped up.
Yep.
We'll put 1 more minute. I'll start a minute timer. If we have any additional questions, ask it now, or else then ask it in the chat.
Someone just dropped a PDF, it looks like, for the book.
The Candlestick Bible. So if anyone wants to go get a head start on the reading, you will probably beat me, but I will be reading that book for sure because I haven't read it, and I'm always looking for new stuff to read.
Yeah.
Cool. Looks like we're all good. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining the session. This will be uploaded to YouTube, so we'll hit you with the link when that's done. Thank you for joining. Catch you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, see you later.